The exact moment I heard about Asbury, and this is a bit of a funny story, is I heard about it at midnight, the day before we were leaving. I got a text message from Brad basically saying, we need help. We need a driver to drive the students down to Asbury. And as someone who's involved with a Christian school, I felt obligated to help. I mean, that's the kind of person I am, and I reached out to Brad right away, and I'm like, if you need me, I just got home. And we were planning a Valentine's Day dinner the next day. So I just got home, we had just bought all these supplies for this Valentine's Day dinner, and now things were changing. So I had to ask my wife, I said, hey, they need my help. What do you think? And she goes, if they need your help, and I know who you are, you're gonna help. So that's how it happened. And once I worked things out with Brad and Ian, I volunteered. And again, I felt obligated. I wanted to help the students because I knew how important this was. I thought about it a little bit about the revival. I'd never been to a revival, so this was a first for me. So I was processing the information, and obviously the drive was going to be a long one. So I wanted to make sure, obviously I was awake and everything was, was ready to go. I enjoyed the van ride. Obviously I was trying to listen to a little bit of the conversations that were going on, and it's just always interesting to hear, perspectives from different students. Some of them were very excited, some of them were very nervous about the revival. They weren't quite sure what to expect. So I enjoyed, just the conversations, yeah. I'll be honest with you, of course, when we first got there, it was really quiet. And I'm thinking to myself, oh no, the revival's over, right? But once we walked to the chapel, and it sounds like a cliche, but I just remember walking in, and there's like a wall of sound. Like you could hear the music and the singing, and it literally took your breath away, because it was just amazing, right? And as you got into the chapel itself, you're looking around and you're seeing all these people, and they're just celebrating, celebrating the Word of God, and it literally took my breath away. I think how God changed for me was I looked at it from a different perspective. I'm Catholic, so we don't do revivals, so it's a little different, but I think just seeing the passion and the way they were celebrating, it made me think that, there's different ways you can obviously, celebrate religion, but just feeling that energy, and that's what I enjoy the most. Right now, we have a priest at our church who is very much like that. He likes to celebrate, he's very boisterous, and that's so unlike many Catholic priests. They're very monotone, they speak a certain way, but he's very much about celebrating. How it changed me was I was able to share my experience with others, and again, you always hear you had to be there, right? But just sitting down talking to my wife over coffee and just saying things, going over everything in the chapel and just the whole celebration. I told her, I said, this was an experience, that this really changed the way I look at things, because you go about your life doing the same things day in, day out, and then when you do something like this, it's like, oh, it made me feel more empowered. We were really bad about being consistent going to church, and after that I'm like, I want to go to church. It was reaffirming, at least for my religious beliefs, yes.